Welcome to the Code with Jason meetup. I have a different background than last time and from the time before that. Last time I was in the middle of painting. Now I'm at least done painting this wall. Um, this direction is a disaster, but you guys don't see that. You only see this. I still have a bunch of other stuff that's partway through. Anyway, today we're going to work on some live coding on my CI platform called SaturnCI. I'm going to share my screen and we'll get into it. Okay, so here's where we left off. I'm going to make my font size bigger. I helpfully left an uncommitted comment for myself to remind me what I was going to do this time. So I'll read it because I don't remember. Here's where we want to make a zip file of the gems and then send that zip file to a DigitalOcean space. Okay, so for anybody who's not familiar, I'm building a CI platform. It runs my tests, but it runs my tests too slowly. Locally, my test suite takes like less than 20 seconds to run, but on CI, it takes like 5 minutes. And a good portion of that is just running bundle install. Well, I don't know. Okay, let's do this actually. Let's do rm gem file. No. Okay, sorry. Let's do this. Okay, I want to benchmark my bundle install. I want to see how long it takes. Um, so let me see how I can like clear the thing or whatever. And ChatGPT has been like really slow today. I'm just gonna randomly try a couple things. Bundle clear. No. Bundle clean. What does that do? Move every sim. No, I don't want to do that. Okay. Oh wow, look at ChatGPT. It's having some trouble. Okay. Um, I want to. Whoops. Sorry,
I'm
people are
judging
trying
your
to
history.
join. What's that?
I am judging your history.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, there we go. Okay, I want to run bundle install and see how long it takes. How can I blow everything away so I can do that? Okay, I had that thought, but I wasn't sure that
You
I
got that.
wanted to do that. Sorry, what's that?
I was gonna say you got that already. You removed the jump out of lock.
Clear install gems. Yeah, I guess I'll just do that. Okay, so we'll see how long this takes, and that will tell us how long this bundle install step is accounting
I have
for
a
in our
question.
5 minute test run. Yeah.
It's not gonna really tell us that because it's also using gems that you already have installed, isn't it? Did you
Well,
do bundle clean? I may have missed that.
oh, no, I didn't do that. Maybe I do need to do that. Okay.
I don't know if it's giving you a real impression of that.
Okay. Now we'll see how long this takes. Hmm. It was much faster. That's
It
annoying.
says using device. Did it ever install device, or is that coming from a cache somewhere?
I don't know. Yeah, it must be. Use a fresh gem set. Okay. Okay. How can I get my current gem set? Okay, RVM gem set name. Okay, so I'm guessing if I look in here, I'm going to find some stuff. Whoops, that was not it. Okay. Bundler. Gems. There's nothing in there. Okay. I'm going to do this again and see what happens. Okay, this is weird. Or, I mean, I think what's really the case is I just don't understand how this works. Okay, so I kill gemfile.lock. And what happens if I now do a bundle? Yeah, so killing gemfile.lock apparently doesn't do like anything. Um, and you know what might have been the case? It might have just been the case that the reason it made things go slow that one time was because when there was no gemfile.lock, it just grabbed the most recent versions. And for some gems, it was the same, but for some gems, it was different. And so in the cases when it was getting a different version from what I already had, that's when it was slow. And when it happened to have the same version, that's when it was fast. That's a guess anyway. So my current hypothesis is that deleting gemfile.lock doesn't do anything.
Mhm. It forces the recomputation that Bundler does, and that's it. You still have the gems installed, so it can just reuse those instead of fetching them.
Okay. Um, Deleting gemfile.lock doesn't actually remove any gems. How can I actually remove them?
What Ruby manager, version manager are you using?
RVM.
RVM.
Okay. It removes all gems not
Oh,
specified in your gemfile.lock. That's not what I want. Okay, uninstall all gems. That seems a little heavy-handed, but
mhm.
I don't care. Okay. I don't know what this is all about.
Do you mind if I ask what we're trying to achieve? I thought I'd figure it out eventually, but
Yeah. I want to see how long it takes to do a unprimed bundle install because we're performance optimizing the test runs on SaturnCI.
makes
So I
sense.
want to see what kind of performance improvement I should expect to see if we start caching bundle install on the platform.
Hmm.
Okay, gem set list default. Okay. So I guess I'll do gem set empty default. Okay.
Do bundle check.
Oh,
That would
okay.
tell you, right? But this looks good. This looks way better than what it was before.
Yeah.
So the ones that are white may have been installed previously.
Okay.
They look like globals.
Yeah.
What does bundle check do?
It it just checks to see if you have all the installed gems that are in the gem file, and it will tell you which gems you're missing and things like that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, if you do it now, it'll tell you. It'll tell you you got everything installed. You're good to go.
Okay, so it looks like that took 24 seconds. Um, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna empty the gem set and then I'll do bundle check.
There you
So it
go.
looks like all of them are missing, which is obviously what we wanted.
Yeah.
I'm gonna run this again, just well, because now I have to, because I did the empty, but I'm curious how long it says it takes.
It skipped bundler. I don't know if you guys noticed it with the one that it showed that it was there. So it's bundler itself.
Oh,
And I'm guessing, I don't know what the other one was, but I'm guessing since those are the only two so far, that the other file must be something that bundler uses directly.
okay.
Otherwise, why the why only one other, right?
Yeah. Okay. Took about the same amount of time. We'll call it 25 seconds. Heck, we'll call it 30 seconds to make it even rounder. So we should expect that if we cache the bundle install step, it'll go from about 5 minutes to about 4 minutes and 30 seconds. Although the time does vary quite a bit. It varies more than 30 seconds. So that's not exactly how it'll play out, but we should be able to tell the difference. To put it another way, it won't save us like 2 seconds and it won't save us like 3 minutes. So that's basically what I wanted to know, like roughly how much would it save us? Okay, so now we want to make a zip file of the gems and then send that zip file to DigitalOcean space. So I'm wanting to again cache the gems. And so the way I want to do that is when I do the first bundle install that this project ever does, I want to tuck away those gems somewhere so that on a subsequent run, on every subsequent run, I can just grab those gems that were already bundled on a previous run instead of rerunning bundle install every single time. Okay. So that happens as part of, well, what I was about to say doesn't make any sense, but I want to do it right after the build step. Okay, so I will enlist the help of ChatGPT. Help me. Help me get this part working.
You know, if you ask it for reference links, sometimes it actually gives it to you.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah,
Okay,
I
maybe
like
I'll do that next time.
these kind of things because then sometimes you get like 3 or 4 links in line within context, and then you just use it for summarizing.
Okay. It's interesting that it's telling me to use the AWS CLI, even though it knows this is DigitalOcean. Okay. I'm trying to think of what step I want to do first. So I see the way it's getting the gem directory, and I wonder if it has to be that complicated. Oh, you know what? I think I'm actually specifying. Oh, I'm actually like hard coding the bundle path. Yeah, bundle path here. Okay, so I'm gonna tell it for gender. Okay, instead of gender, I think I want to use bundle path, which I've set in the Docker file. By the way, welcome to our new friend. I don't know how to pronounce your name. Edu?
Eduardo.
Oh, there's maybe some missing letters.
Yeah.
Sorry, did you say Eduardo?
Yeah. I'm 99% sure that's my buddy because I told him, hey, it's today, not tomorrow. Hurry up.
Oh, well, welcome, Eduardo. Okay, so it's like totally missing the point. I don't want to set bundle path. I just want to use bundle path. Okay, and as we're doing this, a problem is occurring to me. The feedback cycle for working on this product is so long. It's like I make a modification to this script and then I trigger a build and it takes like 5 minutes to tell whether what I did even worked. And that's not great. And I wonder if there's anything I can do about that. I'm open to suggestions. Bear with me as I silently think for an indeterminate amount of time.
Are there parts that you could run locally instead? Like have a sandbox so that you wouldn't have to go through the process.
It's a good question. I also even thought like, you know, what I'm doing here is I am initializing a virtual machine on DigitalOcean.
Mm-hmm.
Can I have a virtual machine on my own computer? Because like part of the problem is like all the overhead involved in like if I want to observe what the machine is doing, I have to like SSH into the DigitalOcean machine and it's like really tedious. If I could only have like a more convenient way to SSH in, that would get me a long ways. But also like having a local virtual machine would maybe help too.
Yeah, you could use that as a sandbox and then when you end it, run it in DigitalOcean just to make sure you're getting the same error, the same behavior.
Mm-hmm. I'm thinking. Yeah, okay. Hmm. So obviously I'm gonna want as much like dev prod parity as I can get. And of course, if I go the route of having a local virtual machine, then I lose a lot of that. So maybe that's not the idea I want to consider first. Maybe what I want to consider first is just an easier way to observe what's happening on the DigitalOcean machine. I'm going to ask some questions of ChatGPT. Okay, so I'm going to stash this. I'm going to go to main. Okay. And first of all, I think I want a way to trigger a build on the command line. And one way that I can do that is I can make a commit and do a git push. That triggers a build. But it would be nice to be able to just trigger a build whenever I want. Okay, so let's look at something. GitHub events controller. Okay. I'm so embarrassed by this. I just copy pasted code from ChatGPT and it's not very good. Um, but here's where I kick off a build. Oh, yeah, okay. Okay, so maybe I could actually just do this. Okay, how many projects do I have? I think I have 2. Yeah. Okay. So can I do this? Um, okay, so I make a new build. Hmm. Oh, I know what I can do. Okay, so there's like a rebuild controller. Rebuild that create original build. Okay, so maybe I can do b equals p dot builds dot last. Okay, rebuild dot, what was it? Create. Create b. Okay, attempt to fix script. Okay, that kicked off a build. I don't know if that's the one I want to use though. Let me use this one instead. What is this build ID? It's this. Okay, so now when I want to kick off a new build, I can just do that. Okay, that'll be more convenient for testing. I'm going to delete this since it's not needed. Okay, I'm going to delete this too. Okay. Now, I want an easy way to SSH in. By the way, welcome to our newest joiner. Let's see. Gerardo, welcome. Okay, so there's no machines, which is surprising. Maybe something about what I just did was no good. I'm going to rerun one through the UI and see if we get some different behavior. Yeah, apparently what I did through the command line was no good. Okay, whatever. Is it possible to build a Docker image with the gems already in it, push it to a registry, and pull it to gain some time? Yeah, good question. Um, yeah, good question. That was something that I had thought about before. Um, yeah. Maybe that is what we want to do. Hmm. Yeah, maybe that's what we want to do. Yeah, that's a good suggestion, Gian. Let's actually try that. Um, but first, I want to continue to address this problem that I was having, which is like when I kick off a build, I don't have an easy way to SSH into one of the droplets to see what's going on. And I like don't want to bite this off yet, but I think maybe now is actually the appropriate time to do it. Something I wanted for Saturn eventually was a CLI so that I could do, for example, SaturnCI builds, and it would show me all my builds or something like that. So let's maybe actually do that, because I think it'll pay itself back by making development faster. All right, so forget everything we've done so far in this session. We're going to completely change direction and do something else. All right. So if I want to do this, all right, I want to do SaturnCI build ls, let's say. Or do we want it to be build list? What do you guys think seems more natural?
Isn't the Ruby way to do both? If people will do it. An
Yeah, it's a
alias.
good point. But if I'm only going to do one, which way should I do it? I feel like list seems more natural, maybe.
GitHub uses list for their
Okay, I'll use
CLI.
list. Okay. So I'm going to create a file called SaturnCI. And I don't remember what I put to make it executable by Ruby. Whoops.
Are you going to use a CLI tool like a builder or like a framework, or are you going to just do it like freehand?
Maybe I should use a tool. There's like what is that one called? It's
I
just
think
a bunch of letters. It's like TTY prompt or something like that. Is that the kind of thing you're thinking of?
you mean like AFSD or something, or
No, it's
I was thinking of Thor, but I don't
oh,
know.
Thor.
Right, I don't know which ones are the right ones because obviously there's bulk that comes with the more complicated ones. Uh,
So I don't know if TTY prompt will come into the picture, but it lets you do stuff like this, interactive stuff. Yeah,
yeah.
maybe at some point. But I'm gonna get as far as I can without using anything like that. And then if it looks like it'll be helpful, I will start using it. Okay. Um so there we go. Okay, so maybe now, obviously I don't have any commands built in. Um okay, I'm gonna make my first objective just be to I'm gonna run SaturnCI like that and have it list my builds. And how do I do that? Well, I'm gonna have to make a request to the endpoint. Um, let's say I have something called SaturnCI client. And what would be natural? Oh, how about this? SaturnCI client dot builds dot each do build puts build. And that will of course not work because there's no such thing as SaturnCI client or even a SaturnCI namespace. Okay, so I'm gonna create that thing. Make their, whoops, make their live Saturn CI. Okay, the solar graph thing is getting annoying, so I'm gonna do gem install solar graph. I just want to make that warning go away every time I open Vim. Apparently has a lot of dependencies. Okay, I didn't know that's gonna take that long. That's kind of annoying. While we're waiting for that, I'm gonna open up lib SaturnCI client.rb. Okay, it still says, oh yeah, okay, that's not surprising that it says that because we're not including it. So I will do include lib client. No, why am I doing that? Require. Okay, I made some kind of error. Maybe I actually want to do require relative. Okay, cannot load such file. Oh, yeah, it's supposed to be SaturnCI. Live SaturnCI client. Okay, undefined method builds. That is better. Okay. So now I will do def self dot builds. Okay. And then what does this say? My zoom thing is in the way. There we go. Okay, undefined method each for no class. So I'll just make it return an empty array. Okay. Now we get no errors, but of course it doesn't work. And also now I'm getting something that I haven't gotten before, which is this like real-time Rubocop linter whatever stuff. I don't like that. So bear with me a second here. Solar graph. I'm gonna like just comment this stuff out. My goodness. Okay. I'll just delete this stuff. Whoops. Okay. Okay, so now I want to start to write some tests. Um, yes. Maybe I don't yet want to write some tests. I think what I just want to do here is I just want to start hitting the API. Okay.
Whatever you fear the most, do first.
Yeah. How do I make builds hit the endpoint v1 sorry, API v1 builds, let's say. Okay, this is like a lot more than I want to do right now. I'll just say this. Not even gonna do base URL like that. I'm gonna say, oops, localhost 3000. Okay. JSON.parse response. Okay.
Missing a slash.
Where? Oh yeah, thanks. Okay, we'll see what that gives us. Okay, undefined method URI, probably because I'm not including this. I'm going to need this too. And I'm using double quotes, not single. Oh, and I need JSON. Interesting. Okay, so I think maybe I want to send a JSON request. Actually, let's do this. Let's rescue standard error binding.pry. Surprising. I didn't expect it to work, but I'm surprised it's failing in this particular manner. Okay. Let's see. What if I comment out the parts and just do that much? What the heck are we looking at? I wouldn't like to do that on every custom page so I don't screw users' layouts. I think a lot of developers want to see all the content on the default Rails error page. Where is this stuff coming from? That's weird. Okay, but that's neither here nor there. Okay. Okay, here's another way to come at it. I'm looking at my log. It says no route matches API v1 builds. Okay. What do we have? Yeah, we certainly don't have API v1 builds. So let's add it. Yeah. Okay. And I think I want to write a test for this. Spec API v1 builds spec. Okay, describe builds. Get API v1 builds. For the moment, I'll just say it works. API v1 builds path. No params. We're not expecting anything. We just want to expect a 200 response. Let's see. No, that's not the one we want. Okay, we want it to have HTTP status 200, we'll say. This should be a get. All right, so I'll run that. Okay, uninitialized constant, blah, 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 builds controller. That is true. Okay. I'm going to copy from an existing one. Builds controller, yeah. Index. I guess I didn't even need to do that much yet, but let's see. Okay, how did this fail? It says it's missing a template. We'll just do head okay. Okay, that test passes. So now, if we run this, what do we get? Access denied. Okay, that's good because that's what we would expect. We're not sending it any credentials yet. Okay. So actually happen to have my credentials right here, my user and my password. So how do we initialize the client with some credentials? We can maybe do this. Client equals SaturnCI client dot new. We'll say username and blah, blah, blah. Password and blah, blah, blah. I'm making all this up, by the way. This is not real. So now if we run Saturn, initialize wrong number of arguments, not surprising. Okay, Saturn client. So we can change this. Def initialize username, password. Okay, undefined method builds. Okay, yeah, I guess we want to change that to an instance method. Okay, access denied. All right. So now we want to make it so it builds the credentials into the request. Okay, so I'm going to give it this API controller. Yeah. How do I make the client build the credentials into the request? Oh, that's easy. Okay. I'm gonna call it request. No reason to abbreviate. Okay, now let's see what happens. Access denied still, but that might be because our credentials are actually just blank. So let's see if they are. Oh, okay. I'm just gonna do puts username. Username, username. Yeah, blank. Okay. So let's do this. Export SaturnCI API username equals my user. And then same thing with password. Okay. So now my user is, or sorry, username is populated, but we still get access denied for some reason. But maybe let's give a more graceful error. Okay, now is probably when we want to start adding some tests to the SaturnCI client. Okay, we got only about 10 minutes left. I'm going to create a branch, SaturnCI client. Let's spec SaturnCI client. And we'll call it authentication spec. Describe authentication to, oops. Okay. So we'll do context, invalid credentials. It outputs a graceful error message. Okay. So we'll do this. Let's make this blank. Run this and see what happens. Uninitialized constant. Okay. Not too surprising. We will have to require it. Let's see. This will be a few levels up. Client, SaturnCI spec. Okay, let's see if that's right. Okay, it passes because we're not actually asserting anything. Okay, so I think when we initialize the client, we want to test the credentials. Let's make it so that when we initialize the client, it tests the credentials. Okay. Or we could just call builds. Whoops. Okay, now we get a failure. Yeah, okay. So we want to stub this request so that it gives us a 400 response. And we don't need all of this stuff. We just need that. Okay. Return status 422, is that it? We don't need a body or headers either. Whoa. Okay. Okay, client 19. Okay, yeah, we can't parse the response because there's not a good response. Okay. Now let's put binding.pry right here. There is no binding.pry. Okay.
Can't you use debug? Because isn't that built into Ruby now?
Oh, what is it?
Debugger. I'm not
Should I just
sure.
type debugger?
Yeah. I think that's supposed to be the one released by Ruby, but I don't know if it's a built-in one. No.
Hmm.
So it's a feature, but not a. Yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna ask, how do I get the response code? I feel like this is much faster than GPT-4 normally is. Okay, so I guess I'll change this. If response.code is not 200, um, raise bad credentials. Now let's see what we get. Okay. So now let's do this. Expect that to raise bad credentials. Okay. That didn't work for some reason. I actually don't understand why that's not working. Obviously, it's raising the error. Oh, should it be raise error? Oh, yeah, apparently so. Okay. So now that works, but what if I just do this directly? Oh, bad credentials. Um, that's kind of fine, I guess. Um, hmm. Hmm. But I feel like I don't want it like that. I want it to just output bad credentials. But I'm actually going to save what I have so far because this feels reasonably complete. We have a trailing space and build spec. Okay. Um, yeah, I want to commit that. Add SaturnCI client. Okay. Now let's make this a little more elegant. let's see. Maybe let's make this do the capturing. By the way, maybe we can do that there. I like that a little bit better, I think. Okay, bad credentials. So we can go here and say begin rescue standard error E puts E dot message. Oh, and exit. There we go. I think that's nice. Okay. I'm happy with that. Okay, and I don't want to end it there. I want to leave a loose end hanging, so next time we come to this, we know where to start. Spec lib clients. What was it? Here we go. Okay. So we want to be able to list the builds. For some reason, the authentication isn't working right now. We need to figure that out. Okay, let's go to API controller. Let me actually do this because I don't understand why this is not working. Hmm. Um, okay, what are these values here? Okay, my user, is this my password? Okay. Yeah, so bad credentials. Okay, I'm actually not understanding how we can troubleshoot this. But let's just leave a note for ourselves. Where should we leave the note? Maybe let's leave it here. For some reason, our credentials aren't working. Okay, and so next time I go to work on this, I can see this comment that says, for some reason, our credentials aren't working. And then we can know what to do next. Okay, I am going to stop sharing my screen. If I can figure out how, here we go. Okay, so I want to let you guys know about a thing or two. One, Sin City Ruby is a month from this recording. It's March 21st and 22nd, 2024. Travis, you're gonna be there, right? Yay. I don't know if anybody else on this call is gonna be there, but it's gonna be a lovely time. Another thing I want to let you guys know about is I've started offering free mentorship, and that's what a lot of these future calls are going to consist of. I'll grab you the link real quick in case anybody is interested. Bear with me a second here. I'm going to paste the link in the chat. And for anybody watching this on YouTube later, if you go to codewithjason.com, there's a link that says free mentorship. There's a form where you can apply. And then you'll get invited to one of these meetups. I have like a Calendly link where you can just pick whatever times work for you. Then we'll get on one of these calls together and we can work through, maybe you have a side project or something that you want to work on. We can work on that together. So that is my free mentorship that I'm offering. And I also want to mention, lastly, that I make my living as a consultant and I do pair programming type stuff with people. I help people with testing, OOP, that kind of thing. And I do team training as well. So if you're interested in that, again, codewithjason.com, you can find how to contact me there. All right. Thanks everybody for joining me, and I'll see you next time.
Thanks, Jason.
Thank you, Jason.
Thank you.